Everyone, I'm gonna review RealPolitiks New Power. It's not just gonna be a review. I'm also gonna talk about the gameplay and kind of what the game is about and why it's awesome. And this game is also brought to you by Forever Entertainment. It's $25 on Xbox, and it came out on June 12th. It's a real-time strategy game, and I'm gonna start with a new game here so you can see how we play the game. So basically, you choose a country, and you're in charge of a country, and you're going to work to build up your country and be the best, most awesome country in the world. And you can do that in a lot of different ways. You can be a democracy, you can be authoritarian, you can be a totalitarian. I'll kind of show you. So I'm gonna pick. I'll pick Norway just for funsies. Over here on the right, you'll see that they have these different things like economy and military ranks. So that kind of gives you different possibilities when it comes to what you're going to start with as a country and what other types of things you're going to have available to you. There's also different campaigns, like there's Old Wounds where you're France or Germany. There's also revolutionary things. It just depends on what country you pick to start, what options are possible for you. There's definitely some achievements tied to some of these, like for instance there's an achievement for putting Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark all together. There's these things called blocks, and I'll kind of show you what that's like as we get into the game, which is, it groups countries together, and eventually you can form them to be one larger faction. You'll see, like if I look at Russia, you're going to see that they already have a block that they and Belarus are in together. You also have a similar thing that can go on with Turkey and Syria and Lebanon and Palestine and Ashrik and Iraq, and then you have the United States can do the same thing with Canada and Mexico. There's just a lot of different options in this regard. Let me start a game with Norway, just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. I think that the price point is fair for this game because a lot of games like this are usually actually more expensive than that, and these are much more common on PC, so it's nice to get some of these on Xbox for a change. So on the left side, you're going to see your internal politics. That's going to tell you all the information that you need to know, like population, human development index. Let me pause this real quick. Your block, your warmonger status, like if you're a democracy, authoritarian, or totalitarian. You're going to have an economy tab. It's going to tell you all the things about your economy and like if you have debt, what your taxes, you can choose the taxes that you put, your budget, GDP, employment, everything else. You also have natural resources. Then you have your military tab, which is going to talk to you about your army. You got and what kind of theater control that you're going to do when you do end up going to war with people, which will likely happen. And then if you click another country, since I'm like Norway right now, if I click Sweden, then there's this tab called Other Country that shows you a basic rundown of what you've got there. So anyhow, let's look at the different tabs here down at the bottom. So we've got stats, which are going to tell you can scores, which you're trying to get the highest score by the year 2099. So this is going to break down all the countries together and compare them so you can see who's doing the best as you go. And it's very possible to take the smallest country and grow to the biggest, to be the biggest. So it's not easy, but it's definitely doable. So the player tab here actually shows you the areas that you have. So say Norway is Oslo and Bergen, so you see how those are highlighted by Norway as well. Second tab down here is the different things that you can choose to upgrade in order to make your country better and to improve things. You have tabs that have uniques, where so like you can build an orbital station, do resources, you can build gun stores. Then you have international, which is like diplomatic stuff, or currency wars, or world trade organizations. Economy is all based on economics, so like the stock exchange. You've got your bureaucracy stuff, you've got infrastructure, regulations, labor laws. Then internal politics is more of your like schools, like so social things like health services and immigration policy, Social Security, stuff of that nature. And then military is obviously for building up your army if that's what you choose to do. And then trade is for doing like international trade, so exporting and importing, and also outsourcing. And ad hoc actions are also here, and these are actions that you may want to use for a limited time at random times, depending on, so like you have this great offensive which mobilizes a force that gives you an army attack modifier bonus and things of nature. But you probably don't want these to be on all the time. You can also like fight unemployment. You can do all sorts of different things here. Diplomatic offensive, where you're trying to make everybody happier in the world. You can sabotage people. So there's lots of different aspects there. And then you have this tab, which are tasks, and you get random tasks that you can try to achieve to get bonuses and score, and the different like action points and money, and so you can definitely improve that by just doing these different tasks that come up. There's a United Nations, which is obviously run by a bunch of crazy people in the real world and also in the game. So obviously having China and Russia in the UN is not really the most useful thing if you're trying to be like the United States or be a democracy. They have this. I find it amusing because there's this one particular thing is anti-democratic cooperation, where basically all the authoritarian and totalitarian countries vote to make themselves richer at the expense of the rest, and that seems to be easy to get because half the countries in there are authoritarian. Let's see what else we got. So the stock market, you can look at all the different stock exchanges in the world. Some countries will automatically add you if your country is promoting a good economic structure, and then you can build your own as well. You have your nuclear thing, and it shows all the nukes in the world, and it also has your ability. You'll have the ability to grow nukes here. You have to build all the way up to atom bomb, and then you can use those if you're attacked. And then you have NGOs, which are organizations that pop up randomly throughout your playing that give you different tasks and things. Here on the right side, you're going to see that we have projects, which they'll time down. Those are things that you get from this little projects tab. And then these little internal politics things are going to show you things that are upcoming, like elections, or if the economy is doing bad, or things of that nature. You also have other tabs here that are going to say like war and other types of things. You'll get notifications pretty much anytime something's happening. So you'll see on the map here that you have these little strategic provinces, which if you take these over, then you can influence the trading that occurs in those areas. Let's see what else we have over here. So this is the relations map. So if you look at that, then say you click Norway, and any color that's really green is going to be more in favor of you, and areas that are colored more red, like darker colors, are going to be where they're kind of against you. So you see that Russia's kind of against me, but at this point in the game, you're not going to have a lot of positive or negative. If you're a neutral country like Norway, this tab is society map, and so it just kind of differentiates different things. Trade map is going to show you who's more likely to be willing to trade with you. Score map is going to be based on who's like up in the scoring the most. And then terrain map is kind of showing the terrain of the world in different places. So you can see, like, if the US, you see the mountains more here, and then plains. So there's a lot of different little maps there. I actually keep it on the one with that's called relation map, because that way I can tell who's the thing. But sometimes I do switch over to political map, because you'll see little pop-ups that'll randomly show up in random countries here that you can influence your positive and negatives with those countries with those things. let's see, if I look at the relationship map, so if you go back to this and then you click on a country with your left stick, you're going to be able to look at democracy and also spy operations. So this is going to make it so you can improve relations, or even get an aggression pact, or even get joined with a bloc with the country that you're looking at. As far as the spy operations, you'll see that you can try to influence the political systems, spread dissent, also damage their reputations. And so that's always useful, especially if you're going against, like, say Russia attacked me. I would sit over here and I would just go nuts on trying to sabotage their nukes and sabotage their relations with their bloc as well, because their army's going to be bigger than mine, so I'm going to have to do other things to try to avoid losing the war, so to speak, or at least to make it so that they go away. That's kind of the basic. It's a fun game. I highly recommend it. I've had a lot of fun with it, and I think most people will. So again, shout out to Forever Entertainment. They made a really awesome game here. I think there's actually a second game coming out on Steam this year, maybe. So maybe look forward for that as well. So anyway, have a nice day, everybody.